All right, hello, this is Wayne Scher. I'm best-selling author of the anthology, The Art and Science of Success, and online coach. And I'm the online coach known as the Traffic Commander, name given to me by marketing genius Evan Pagan. I'm the creator of Layer Traffic, and in this very special webinar, this webinar training event, we will present to you the 8 critical elements of how you create a blog that matters and profit from it. So you can use these steps immediately to achieve your blogging success, and you'll discover how you can do it in 90 days or less. So here's our guarantee to you. You'll walk away from this training with expert inside knowledge of how any average person like you or I can create a powerful blog that matters and profits in 13 weeks or less. Would being able to do this create more security in your life? I know it will for me, and I'm confident it will for you also. Be sure to stay on the entire webinar event, because everyone who stays to the end will be receiving a special attendee bonus that I guarantee will help you improve your traffic results on any of your websites and start putting an end to the frustrations you experience getting traffic and buyers. So, I agree with you that we shouldn't waste a lot of time up front. And I'll add that nothing is more important right now than for you to get to know our special guest. You are very lucky tonight to have literally at your beck and call top blogger and, no kidding, a real live expert at creating blogs that really matter and profit, Corbett Barr. In close to Corbett's own words, he was once in a mind-numbingly boring corporate job, but really wanted to find out if there was more to the world than a vacation and a 401k. He claims his formative years were spent as a Fortune 500 technology consultant. I think he's actually in his formative years, but we won't tell him. So, and I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure life is much more exciting now than as the Fortune 500 technology consultant. So to create the excitement, so that he can create that excitement, he became, as he calls it, a digital nomad. What's a digital nomad? The definition: he runs a small independent business based on blogging and can live and work from anywhere in the world where there is reliable internet. That's a real good thing to do, isn't it? Corbett's blogs include thinktraffic.net, I'm going to get these correct, expertenough.com, and his personal blog, corbettbarr.com. These blogs attract well over 100,000 visitors per month, and his blog, thinktraffic.net, has over 26,000 monthly subscribers. He's guided hundreds of students to build over 670 successful blogs, and he's here to share with you some of the most important secrets to making this possible for you. So to keep things moving, let me turn this over to the expert, Corbett Barr. Corbett, the floor is yours. Could you fill us in with just a little bit more detail about your business and how you got started?
Thanks so much for the introduction, Wayne, and let's just talk about what I'm going to cover here today. First, this is going to go very fast. Not auctioneer fast necessarily, but it's going to go rather fast. I have a lot of great information to give you today, so please take note, and there will be lots to cover. So I appreciate it if you just stay focused, and I'll try to get through this all within the next hour or so. We're going to go over the 9 essential elements of starting a blog that matters. I know that Wayne said there were 8 elements, and I snuck one in there on him, so we'll be going over all 9 of those. We're also going to be sharing, sort of just for fun, 5 bloggers who make over $1 million a year each. And I'll tell you why I want to share that with you when we get to that section. I'm also going to go over 5 incredible case studies of what I call regular people who have started incredible blogs. And then finally, I'm willing to stick around and do a Q&A session. As many questions as you guys have, I will try to get answered. So as we do this, if you have questions, please jot those down. Here are just a few classroom rules I like to throw out there. First, questions are great. So as I'm going through the presentation, if something comes up just jot down a note, and at the end of the presentation we'll go into a big Q&A session. You can ask anything you would like. Secondly, in this age of distraction, mass distraction, I know that everybody has Twitter and Facebook and email and all kinds of stuff going on. If you want to get the most from this presentation, I suggest that you go full screen and really pay attention to the material that we're going to present. And then finally, just thanks for being here. I know that there are a lot of places you could be right now, and Wayne and I both really appreciate you being here with us tonight, or this morning, or late at night, depending on where you are around the world. So Wayne gave you a brief introduction to who I am, and he asked if I could share a little bit more about my business and my background. So let me just explain, for those of you who don't know me, and I saw a lot of new names there actually on the list. So my name is Corbett Barr, and I am an entrepreneur and part-time traveler. I run a business built around blogs, and this life that I'm living now started just about 3 years ago. My wife and I took a 6-month road trip sabbatical to Mexico in 2009, early 2009, and I was really on a break between careers. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. And while we were down here in Mexico for 6 months driving around, we started to meet a bunch of really extraordinary people, and these people weren't necessarily rich or retired, but they had figured out ways to live in a foreign country for months every year, and they'd really figured out ways ultimately to make their career work around their life instead of the other way around. And this was very new to me because my background, as Wayne mentioned earlier, was primarily as a Fortune 500 consultant in the corporate world. And then I also took a stab at entrepreneurship, but the entrepreneurship that I had in my mind was the type where you worked 18 hours a day and really tried to hit a home run, knowing that you had a very small chance, maybe a 10% or less chance of hitting a home run that might set you up to be wealthy for the rest of your life. These people that I met were not only living in a foreign country for months every year while not necessarily being rich or retired, but also they seemed to really be enjoying what they were doing for a living. And so this was this awakening for me on this trip. And a couple of months into the trip, unexpectedly, I decided to start a blog. I hadn't been planning to, but I started a blog basically to chronicle the trip we were on and also to share these incredible stories of the people that we were meeting on the trip. So fast forward 3 years later, and my first blog, which is at CorbettBarr.com, is still running. That blog I talk about lifestyle design and what it means to integrate your career with your life. I started a new blog called Think Traffic, which is all about helping people build online audiences. And finally, most recently, I started a blog called Expert Enough, which is all about how to gain expertise no matter how modest or world-changing your goals are. And those 3 blogs attract over 100,000 readers per month, and that fact blows me away. I cannot believe that every day I get to wake up, write on my blogs, and I know that there are 100,000 people tuning in every month to listen to what I have to say. I never fathomed that that would be possible. So at the bottom here I noted that blogging has changed my life. Well, I'm serious about that. I put in parentheses there, seriously, because I know it's easy to say this changed my life or that changed my life, but blogging has seriously changed my life. In fact, I'm talking to you right now from Mexico, and for the past 4 winters in a row now, my wife and I have returned to Mexico for about 3 months, and we can live down here because I'm able to continue working just as if I were in the States, where I normally live in California. Also, for example, over the summer, I spent 2 months traveling around Europe. We went to about 5 different countries, spent a week or a week and a half in each place, including Croatia, Hungary, Barcelona, and other points. And all the while, I was able to continue carrying on business. And not only that, but I was able to throttle back my business to a reasonable number of hours per day, say 2 to 4 hours a day, just so that I could continue maintaining my business, but also while we were on that trip, I was able to enjoy myself and really soak everything in. So that's how blogging has changed my life. And I know a lot of people now, a lot of friends and peers whose lives have also been changed by blogging, and I'm going to share with you a number of those stories during this presentation. I'm also a very open and transparent person. If there's anything that you want to know about my background, about my business, just jot those questions down now, and I'll be happy to answer those as we get a little further in the presentation. So we're going to be going over 9 essential elements of starting a blog that matters in just a second. But before we do that, I want to unpack this title for a second. I very purposefully named this presentation How to Start a Blog That Matters for a Reason.
Could I interrupt you for a second there, Corbett?
What is a blog that matters, in quotations here? Something that matters. What does that mean to me? What does that mean to you? Well, let's be honest. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of folks that have joined up here, so I just wanted to, before we went much further, as you didn't want you to get too far in before I reminded them.
Did you want to jump in, Wayne?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind them that that they still to stay on to the end to claim the bonuses. The quantum internet traffic is available to everybody that stays to the end. So if you're new and you didn't catch that, I want to make sure you know that. And it's a complete e-training workbook for you to cover the 7 well-known traffic generation tools that work for you. And this course will make it possible for you to take 10 proven action steps to start turning them into your lifetime of income. So make sure you stay on the webinar till the end to grab these bonuses. And those on Facebook, be sure to click that link that's right above the webinar screen and invite others, and you can claim an additional bonus by doing exactly what it says. All right, Corbett, sorry, I just wanted to make sure the folks that just got in here were up to date. So back to you, my friend.
Okay, no problem, and feel free to jump in anytime. So my question to you, or maybe your question for me, is what is a blog that matters? What do I mean by that when I say something that matters? So let's be honest. There is a lot of garbage out there online. I know you all spend a lot of time online. Maybe you're on Facebook, Twitter, you're reading blogs, you're spending time on different websites. And there is a whole lot of what I call internet wasteland out there. There are a whole lot of half-hearted attempts that people start just to earn a quick buck online. People who are trying to engage in quote-unquote internet marketing tactics without a whole lot of strategy behind it or meaning behind it. And so if you're simply looking for a quick way to make cash, I'm sorry to say, but this isn't it. I'm actually looking to help you do something much more meaningful than simply make money online. And also, what I've learned in some part through the hard way is that you have to create meaning online. You have to build something that matters in order to actually support yourself and earn an income. So I hope that's not news to you, but trust me, this is much more worthwhile. Now, blogging isn't easy. I'm also going to throw that out there, but it is incredibly rewarding. To me, a blog that matters is something that changes the lives of the blogger who starts it and the lives of the reader who reads it, who read them, and also potentially even changes the world. And in some cases, blogs can change the world. And again, I have a number of examples of blogs that matter, which have definitely changed the lives of the blogger who started it, and or the lives of the readers, or in some cases even have changed the world in some small way. So just for fun, I'm going to show you 5 bloggers who earn $1 million or more per year, but keep in mind that I'm showing you this simply to show you how far blogging has come over the past 4 or 5 years, and also to show you that these people have been able to earn a lot of income from their blogs because they've created something that matters. It's not as if these are empty marketing techniques that they're doing here. They're really trying to make a difference in people's lives and create something significant online. Blogging has come a very long way in the past 4 or 5 years. In fact, the word weblog, which is the root of the word blog, was coined in 1997, which was just 14 years ago. And the word blog itself didn't come into common vernacular until around 2003 or 2004, when the services like TypePad and Blogger started making it much easier for people to create blogs online. Before that, you sort of had to roll your own software. Now, of course, there's WordPress and Blogger and a number of different other platforms that make it very easy to start a blog. But blogging has come even further than that. In just the past 4 or 5 years, people have started to look at blogs as a way not only to share things online, but also to build a thriving audience and finally to build incredibly powerful businesses around. So I want you to notice that each of these 5 bloggers that I'm going to share with you are doing something significant online. They're doing something, to me, that matters because they have been able to change their own life and they've been able to change the lives of their readers. And keep in mind, again, that each of these 5 people earns $1 million or more per year from their blog. And I know that for a couple of reasons. One is I know most of the people on this list personally. Secondly, a lot of these people disclose in some form or another the earnings that they've actually had over the past year. If you dig into their blogs and look around, you'll find this information. The first, you may have heard of this guy, Darren Rouse. He runs a blog called ProBlogger.com, which is a very popular blog about how to become a professional blogger. Now, the interesting thing about Darren is that he has another site called digitalphotographyschool.com, and you might think that the only way to make money from blogging is by blogging about blogging or by blogging about marketing, because there's so much of that out there. But Darren actually, he started ProBlogger.com back about 6 years ago now, and subsequent to that he started a new blog called digitalphotographyschool.com about 2 years after he started ProBlogger. And digitalphotographyschool.com has become 5 times the size of ProBlogger since he started it. It now accounts for the majority of the income he earns as well as the majority of the audience that he has. That site, Digital Photography School, which is all about how to use your digital camera and take better photos, now has over 300,000 subscribers to it. So Darren earns over $1 million a year from his blogs, and he's doing some very, very interesting work at both of those sites, so you can check him out there. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Marie Forleo. Marie blogs at marieforleo.com. She is focused on entrepreneurship for women. She is a go-getter, as I like to say. She has met Richard Branson. She held a conference recently with some incredible speakers like Russell Simmons. And a lot of women around the world look up to her for guidance around entrepreneurship. And Marie has built her business around her blog at marieforleo.com. She does fantastic videos as well as great blog posts. And you can learn all about Marie at marieforleo.com. Timothy Sykes is a young stock trader. He actually originally turned about $12,000 of bat mitzvah money that he earned as a young guy into over $1 million by trading penny stocks. He then took that knowledge and became the #1 trader out of 60,000 registered traders over at Covestor. And he blogs all about that at timothysykes.com. And Timothy actually earns over $3.5 million a year from his business, which is based around blogging. Ramit Sethi blogs at iwillteachyoutoberich.com. Ramit started his blog while he was a college student at Stanford. He found himself constantly helping his friends figure out how to navigate personal finance and found that many of them made the same stupid mistakes over and over again with regard to credit and to earnings. And so he started his blog there, but didn't start monetizing that blog until just a few years ago. Now he focuses on not only personal finance, but also job negotiation and how to land your dream job. And Ramit earns over $1 million a year, again, through his blog, and he has some really fantastic content there. And finally, this example is pretty cool. Laura Roeder is somebody to watch because she's actually only 26 years old. And she started a blog at lauraroeder.com based around social media education just a few years ago. She actually started teaching people about how to use Twitter and Facebook and other social media platforms more effectively and how to build a business using social media. And she has built a $1 million a year revenue business based around her blog in just the past few years. And again, she's only 26 years old. Now, what I want to point out to you, and the reason that I'm sharing all of these stories with you, is partly to show you what's possible with blogging, but also to tell you that this is just the beginning. Again, blogging is in its infancy. It only started really, as we know it today, back in 2003 or so. So it's less than 10 years old. All of these examples of bloggers that I'm sharing with you started within the past 7 years or so, and many of them started just within the past few years. and they've been able to build up incredible businesses in that period of time. So I want to make sure that right now you're not sitting there thinking, oh wow, I wish I'd gotten in 3 years ago. Because when I got in 3 years ago, I was thinking the same thing, and now looking back on it, I was incredibly early. And you too can be incredibly early if you start a blog now. So keep that in mind. It's not too late. Don't feel like it's too late. There's plenty of time to join all of these incredible bloggers that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So let's jump into the 9 essential elements of starting a blog that matters. And in addition to that, I'm going to go over these 9 essential elements. I'm also going to share with you 5 awesome case studies of blogs. And the reason I'm going to share these particular case studies is because I have helped each of these people with their blogs. In some cases, like in the case of Expert Enough, I actually started that blog, and I'll talk to you about that. In the case of Live Your Legend and the Possibility of Today, I coached Scott and Sybil over the course of 6 months or so using these 9 essential elements that I'm going to share with you, and they've been able to create some very incredible results. They have really big audiences now, and they're actually supporting themselves from those blogs. I also am an informal advisor to Adam Baker from Man vs. Debt and Leo Bavauta from Zen Habits, and I'll tell you about those folks in just a second as well. But I want to point out that these essential elements are based on my work over the past 3 years of blogging, and from starting those 3 successful blogs that I mentioned earlier in the beginning. It's also from the work that I've done with these 5 folks, as well as a number of people, and through the courses that I've taught online. I've actually helped people start over 670 blogs over the past couple of years. And I'll admit that not all of those are successful, but a handful of them are incredibly successful, like all of these here. And I want you to ask yourself today, some of you listening to this could go on to create success stories yourself in the blogosphere. And many of you will actually just listen to this information and then sort of forget about it. Oh, that's nice, and then kind of forget about it. I want you to ask yourself if you could join the ranks of the people that I've just talked about, as well as the people that I'm going to be sharing with you in just a second. So let's go over these 9 essential elements. The first element is what I call topic selection. It's very important to choose a topic that can become a popular blog. I think a lot of people start this in the wrong way. So to begin with, let me share a quote with you. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. This applies to life as much as it applies to the blogosphere. So instead of asking yourself what the blogosphere needs or what the online world needs, ask yourself what you could blog about that would make you come alive, and then go do that. There are a number of reasons why that is such a successful strategy, or can be such a successful strategy. It's incredibly important to choose the right topic. If you choose a topic that you're not interested in, then you're not going to possibly be able to put in all of the effort necessary to create a fantastic blog, and your lack of enthusiasm will show through. Other people who are enthusiastic about that topic will simply eat your lunch. So there's 3 steps that I like people to follow in order to choose a really great topic for a blog. The first is to figure out something that you love. And a good way to do this is to think about the kinds of things that go through your head every day, the kinds of things that you think about at night, the kinds of things that you daydream about during lunch, not the kinds of things that you necessarily have to do for a job, but the kinds of things, let's say, if you were going to go on vacation for a week or 2, what sort of reading material would you bring along with you? What kind of magazines would you bring along with you? What films do you like to enjoy? What things do you like to think about, even if work isn't necessarily paying you to think about those things? The next is to consider a topic that is based around something that you're good at, or something that you can become good at, because there's a lot of competition out there, there are a lot of experts out there, and you need to be able to shine as a potential expert on your topic, or you need to be able to shine initially as someone who can facilitate finding really great information about the topic that you've chosen to cover, and that eventually you can become good at it. So First, something you love. Second, something you're good at. And then finally, the third thing is something that people will be interested in or be willing to pay for. So if it's something that you love and something you're good at, but no one's going to be interested in it, obviously it's not going to be a perfect topic. If it's something you love, something you're good at, and people are really interested in it, then that's the trifecta of choosing a great topic. And finally, if you're planning to create a blog that you can actually earn an income from, then you'll also want to make sure that it's something that people will be willing to pay for. Now let me share an example of one of these 5 sort of quote-unquote regular people that I mentioned before who chose a really great topic for his blog. So Adam Baker blogs over at manversusdebt.com. Baker's actually a good friend of mine, and he started his blog in the same month as me back in March of 2009. He blogs about personal finance and doing what you love. And you can see a little photo there. I'm sorry that it's small, but there's a photo there of him, his wife, and their daughter Milligan. And they're standing in front of an RV that you can't see it very well, but the top of that RV actually says manversusdebt.com. And the side and back of that RV is all emblazoned with his brand and what his site is all about. And that's because he actually found a sponsor to pay him and his family to drive around the country meeting his readers. And it's a personal finance site sponsored him to do that, paid for the trip and funded him. And Baker has an incredible story and an incredible topic, partly because he chose something that he loved, the idea of personal finance, chose something that he was good at because he had experience actually of getting out of debt, and he chose something that people would be interested in, and not just be interested in, but be willing to pay for. And Baker didn't just blog about personal finance, but he combined it with the idea of doing what you love for a living, and that's a very powerful combination. There are a lot of sites out there that talk just about personal finance, but Baker threw that extra twist in there of doing what you love, and that's helped lead him to the massive success that he has experienced. Now, element number 2 is what I call killer branding. So, for example, Baker could have just called his site personalfinance101.com, and that might not be nearly as powerful as manversusdebt.com. So what is a great brand? A great brand to me is memorable, it's intriguing, it stands out from the competition, it's slightly descriptive about what your site actually stands for, and the kicker is that it's available, because obviously in the online world you have to secure a domain name, and many of the best domain names are taken, so it can take a bit of searching to find something. But let me share another case study with you, and that is Leo Babauta from Zen Habits. Zen Habits is a fantastic brand name. He combined 2 words, Zen and Habits, together to create an attractive and powerful brand. Leo actually is a Time Magazine top 25 blogger for a couple of years running. His blog has an incredibly huge audience, and it all started very humbly. Actually, just about 5 years ago, Leo was living on the island of Guam, where he grew up, and as he will tell it, he actually felt like an overweight, out of shape, sort of apathetic smoker, and didn't have any goals in his life and didn't feel like he was getting anywhere in life. And he also started wondering why he failed over and over again at trying to change his habits. Why couldn't he stop smoking? Why couldn't he lose weight? There were all these things that he wanted to do that he just, for some reason, wasn't able to do. So he started focusing on that, and over the course of a year, he quit smoking, he lost weight, he ran a marathon, and he started a blog. And on that blog, he started talking to other people about changing their own habits. And now on his site, he talks about not only changing habits, but he talks about the concept of minimalism, or living with less physical goods. He talks about fitness, he talks about happiness, and he talks about all kinds of things. And he's able to do that all under this really fantastic brand called Zen Habits. So check out zenhabits.net as a great example of branding. Element number 3 of starting a blog that matters is solid design. Now, design can be tricky, but keep in mind that design is your first impression. And I think a lot of people, their first instinct when they start a blog is just to take the template that comes with WordPress or Blogger or something right out of the box and start blogging based on that. The problem with that is that there are hundreds of blogs started actually there are thousands of blogs started every day, and there are hundreds of millions of blogs in existence. And if your blog looks like every other blog out there, it's very hard to keep people's attention and to get them to come back to your site. So design is your first impression, and if you want every advantage possible in creating a really fantastic blog that goes on to become popular, you need to have a great design. This is something that is worth spending some time on. So to create a great design, you really essentially have two options. You can either hire someone or you can do it yourself. Now, hiring someone is, in my opinion, the best option. If you can afford to hire a designer, then you should. If you're going to take your blog seriously, it's worth the investment. Especially if you're trying to build a business or build a movement or otherwise change the world with your blog, you have to think to yourself, what is $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 of investment in something that can become a really powerful brand in business? Now, I know that everyone can't afford hiring a designer themselves, so the second option is doing it yourself. And it is possible to build a blog yourself with a templated design. And let me show you an example of this. I mentioned earlier a blog called expertenough.com. This is actually a blog that I started just 2.5 months ago. I guess now it's about 3 months old. And the cool thing about Expert Enough is that it's based on what I call a template design. So we didn't necessarily hire someone to build that design. We used a professionally designed template, which we paid for, but I believe it was maybe less than $100. And we used that design on this blog. It's less than 3 months old, and already this blog is attracting 30,000 visitors a month. And I'm just going to pop over real quick in my browser and show you what Expert Enough looks like, just so you can see. So this is Expert Enough. And again, if you can't afford hiring a full designer, you can use something like a professionally designed template. This one is from Woo Themes, and Expert Enough is based on that theme, and it has a really great look, sort of a magazine look to it. And I point this out just to tell you that if you can't hire a designer, it doesn't necessarily have to hold you back. You can come up with a great design like this, but this is much better than just using the out-of-the-box template that might come with WordPress or Blogger. This is a professionally designed theme, so I'd recommend that you invest in at least that sort of thing, which might cost you between $50 or $100 or $150. And again, if you can afford it, actually hire a designer, because they'll be able to create something that is customized for you and doesn't look like any other blog out there. Element number 4 of creating a blog that matters is social media. We can't ignore the power of social media today. It's such a force, and I know that a lot of you are actually listening to this through Facebook right now, which is pretty incredible. There are 4 reasons why social media is so important for bloggers. The first is that you can actually establish your expertise through social media before you even start blogging. If you start an account on Twitter or Facebook, you can share other content that is based around the topic that you're going to be blogging about, and you can actually establish yourself as an expert or as someone in the know on a particular topic simply by sharing really great content through social media. You don't even necessarily have to have a blog to establish that expertise. And once you do have a blog, social media is still a great way to further that expertise or further establish that expertise, because you can actually have a lot more followers on social media than you might have visitors to your blog, especially in the beginning. The second reason why social media is so important to bloggers is that it is a really fantastic way to test out content. If you think about it, when you have a blog, you might be writing just once a week or twice a week, or maybe in the extreme cases up to maybe 5 times a week. On social media, you could be posting 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 times a day on social media. And that gives you a lot more opportunity to post different types of content, links to different types of content, and to judge the way people are responding to that. You can watch how many times people like the content that you posted, how many times they retweet it, and so on. and that can help guide your decisions about what content to create on your own site. The third reason social media is so important is because it's a fantastic way to connect with other bloggers. And we'll talk about that in a minute, why connecting with other bloggers is so important. But social media isn't just about connecting with your audience, it's also about connecting with your peers. And sometimes those peer relationships can be more important than your audience relationships. And again, we'll talk about that more in just a second. And finally, and maybe not, last but not least, social media can drive an incredible amount of traffic to your blog. So there is no reason a blogger shouldn't be on social media. And if you're thinking about starting a blog, I really suggest that you start on social media now before you need it. This is one of those things where it can take a while to build an audience there. And even if you don't have a blog or a website, establishing your expertise and experimenting with different content types on social media can be a really great way to get started. And then when you launch your blog, you can always let your following on social media know about that blog and help jumpstart the audience. Let me tell you about a friend of mine, a former client named Sybil Chavis. Sybil has a blog called The Possibility of Today. I actually helped her relaunch that blog. She had a blog before called The Alternative, which wasn't doing fantastic. And so we reimagined her blog and came up with a new brand for it and a new focus. And she is talking about personal development there, essentially. Every day when you wake up, thinking about the possibilities of today. It's a new day. What can you do with today to better yourself? And the cool thing about Sybil is that following the relaunch of her blog, she was able to build a Facebook following of 30,000 fans. And imagine what you could do with a following of 30,000 fans on Facebook. Sybil has been able to build a really incredible following there that is translated to customers, to a lot of visitors over at her site, Possibility of Today. So social media has been very important to Sybil, and it's been very important to me and every other blogger that I know. So that's the fourth important element of starting a blog that matters. The fifth element is a launch strategy. What do I mean by a launch strategy? Well, I think a lot of people just figure, oh, well, I'll just start a blog, put it out there, and people will start showing up. Well, that's the wrong way to go about it, because a launch is a one-time event. And you shouldn't waste the opportunity to make a big splash with your launch. Think about it. You're only going to launch your blog once. And if you do this right, if you plan out how you're going to launch your blog, who you're going to tell about it, the types of content that you're going to have on your site, you can actually attract a really big audience and start momentum for your blog that will never diminish. It'll just start you out in a whole different place versus simply launching your blog without any fanfare and just sort of putting it out there and hoping that people will come. Let me share another example of a blogger with you. This is Scott Dinsmore from liveyourlegend.net. I helped Scott rebrand and relaunch his blog last year, much like I did with Sybil. Scott was blogging at a site called Reading for Your Success, and it was going okay, but he had been at it for about 3 years, and the site didn't really communicate his big vision for the world, and also it wasn't growing nearly as quickly as he wanted it to. So with Live Your Legend, Scott and I came up with this new idea, which is, his tagline is, to change the world by doing work you love. And we relaunched his blog in August following a very specific launch strategy, which involves the type of content that you create, the relationships that you build with other bloggers, the schedule that you launch your blog on, and how you get the word out about your blog. And through those steps that we followed, he was able to attract 3,000 new email subscribers to his blog within just the first couple of weeks after launching. And he grew his site from about 3,000 subscribers overall to now close to 11,000 subscribers. And he's been able to do that in just about 6 months. So if you think about it, he was blogging for 3 years and had accumulated 3,000 subscribers. And now, as a result of this launch strategy, this relaunch strategy that we went through, he's been able to acquire 11,000 subscribers in the following 6 months. So check out Live Your Legend, and you can actually just look back in July and August of last year and see the exact content that Scott used in order to relaunch his site. Now, element number 6, this probably should be element number 1. but I just sort of think about things logically in terms of what you're going through and the steps you're going through. Element number 6 is what I call epic content. Epic content is what it takes to succeed online, and there are no exceptions to that. I mentioned before that there are hundreds of millions of blogs in existence. That's not an exaggeration. There are literally hundreds of millions of blogs in existence, and great content or good content is simply the price of admission. There are thousands and thousands of sites out there that have good content. So creating simply good content isn't going to cut it, and mediocre content, if that's all you have, you might as well forget it. What you really need to be aiming for is to create great content and occasionally epic content. Epic content is the kind of content that makes an immediate difference in people's lives. It makes them take notice, and it compels them to comment on your blog. It compels them to share your content with other people, and it forms a bond with you that won't be broken easily. So think about the type of content that you're planning to create for your blog or that you are creating for your blog already, and ask yourself whether or not that content is truly epic. How high are you aiming? What are you trying to create for your visitors? What sort of difference are you trying to make in their lives? And if you're just pumping out mediocre content day after day or week after week because you're trying to fill the space that you have on your blog, you need to re-examine your strategy, because it really takes epic content to create something that matters online. The 7th element of building a blog that matters is blogger friends. And what I mean by this aren't sort of casual acquaintances, people that you just talk to once in a while, but I'm talking about friends that you really, really connect with, and people who are going to help you make a difference on your blog. And next to epic content, I like to say that making friends with other bloggers is the #1 most important thing. If you look at all of the different sources of traffic that you can get to your site, referral traffic is probably the strongest source of traffic in terms of the way it converts into subscribers and repeat visitors. And the way you get referral traffic is by getting to know other people who have websites online and by forming friendships with them. Think about in your normal life. If you have friends who are trying to do something, you probably want to help them succeed. The same thing is true in the online world. If you make friends with other bloggers and you produce content that they like, they're more likely to link to it and to tell other people about it than if they don't know you. So I focus on making friends with other bloggers. And again, I don't mean friends in terms of networking like you think of business networking. I mean friends as in I literally just look for people that I connect with, people who I believe in what they're doing, and people that I think I could be friends with on a regular basis. Actually here in Mexico last week, a new blogger friend of mine actually just came here and visited for almost a week, and we just met 6 months ago, less than 6 months ago, at Blog World, which is a conference in LA. We hit it off there, and we are great friends now because of the time that we just spent together, and that will turn into business opportunities. Not that I'm forcing any business opportunities, but it just happens naturally when you make friends. And the cool thing about trying to make friends online is that it takes all the pressure off. You don't have to be feeling awkward about networking or like you're trying to sell somebody something. You're simply trying to make friends, and you can know that some of those relationships are going to be mutually beneficial. Element number 8 of building a blog that matters is what I call off-site promotion. Too many people build a blog and all they do is create content and hope that people are going to magically find it and that they're going to maybe use social media to spread the word, and that simply isn't enough. Off-site promotion includes things like links from other blogs, which we just talked about. It includes things like guest posting on other blogs. So instead of posting on your own site, you can post on someone else's site, and that's a great way to get traffic back to your own site, because usually you'll be able to include a link from your bio or within the content itself. Off-site promotion can also be when someone interviews you. Off-site promotion could be what I'm doing right now. So I met Wayne recently. He invited me to come speak to his audience about starting a blog that matters, and this is essentially off-site promotion. I am introducing myself to a whole new audience. All of you are getting to know me based on the content that I'm delivering right now, which isn't a blog post on my own site, it's somewhere else. Offsite promotion can also be things like social bookmarking. So sites like Dig and Reddit and other places where people share content stumble upon, those are places where you can do offsite promotion. The point I want to make here about offsite promotion is that the audience that you want to attract to your blog already exists somewhere online, okay? The people that you want to have come to your blog already are spending time on other sites online. Your job is to figure out where those people hang out and then try to get in front of them so that you can bring them back to your own site. That's how you grow your site over time. So again, you can't just think if I build it, they will come. Visitors don't magically come out of thin air. You have to actively go out there, get off of your own site, and try to bring them back to yours. Now, element number 9. This is a very, very important element. All of these are important, actually, but this one is especially important. Element number 9 is being different. It isn't good enough just to be better on your blog. Your blog also has to be different, because whatever space you are in online, let's say you're talking about fitness, let's say you're talking about personal finance, let's say you're talking about marketing, there are going to be thousands of competitors out there. And the way you rise above those competitors and stand out is to play a different game, to play a slightly different game. So again, I brought up Adam Baker earlier. Baker's a great example of a personal finance blogger who isn't just talking about credit card rates and how to get out of debt and things like that. He's talking about his family. He's talking about the adventures that they're on. He's talking about doing what you love for a living and how that will help you improve your personal finances. So he's combining different topics to make his blog different. At Think Traffic, the blog that I have, which is all about building an audience online, I talk a lot about the BS marketing strategies that everyone else teaches out there and why they're ineffective. We talk about the fact that epic content is really the secret to building something that matters online, and very few other marketers are talking about that. So that's how we make Think Traffic different, and that's why that blog has grown so quickly. So think about whatever you're planning to do with your blog and then wonder to yourself, how can I make this different? Because when visitors come to your site, they're going to have a question. They're going to be asking themselves a question that you have to answer very succinctly and very quickly. And that question is, why should I be spending any time on this site when there are already dozens or hundreds of other sites out there that cover similar topics? You have to answer that question. And again, it's not good enough just to be better with your content. You also have to be different in a way that is easily explained to your visitors. So I know this has been a ton of content here. I can't possibly pack in everything there is to know about how to build a blog that matters in just an hour time frame. But for those of you who are loving this content and what we're doing here, I just want to tell you a little bit about a course that I put together called How to Start a Blog That Matters. This is a full online course that takes you through a 90-day step-by-step action plan for creating a blog that will make a difference not only in your own life, but in the lives of the people who read your blog as well. This is a 13-week step-by-step course, as I mentioned. It includes lessons plus action plans. So after every lesson, there's a checklist of things that you have to do in order to build your blog and to get the most success possible out of your blog. There are over 8 hours of video instruction. It's not just written instruction, it's also 8 hours of video, much like this tutorial that you're going through now, except we deep dive into many of those elements. In fact, we deep dive into all of those elements that I've been talking about today. So I've been able to spend about 2 minutes on each of those elements with you today. In the course, we can spend an hour going over those things. And not only that, but within the course, there is full interaction with me, with my employee and assistant editor, Caleb, and also there's Q&A at the end of every lesson. So anything that's not clear, anything that you wonder specifically how it applies to your own blog, you can ask us directly on those lessons. This is self-guided, so you can start this anytime and you can go through it at your own pace. We send you reminders on a regular basis every week so that you know what you should be working on. But if you need to take more or less time, then you can actually do that. So we go through how to choose a topic. We go through how to make your blog different, how to implement a design without breaking the bank, how to come up with a launch strategy, how to launch your site and make a big splash, how to build your thriving audience, how to earn revenue from your blog, the full gamut over 13 weeks or 90 days. And I want to mention that this course follows the exact process that I've used not only to launch my own blogs, including Expert Enough and Think Traffic, but also to help Scott Dinsmore relaunch Live Your Legend, to help Sybil Chavis relaunch The Possibility of Today, and many, many more clients that I've worked with over the past couple of years. And as I mentioned at the opening, through my courses and one-on-one client work, I've actually helped people launch over 670 blogs. And from that, I've created a formula, which is what I put into this course, How to Start a Blog That Matters. And I poured my heart and soul into this. I hope you can tell from my enthusiasm today going over this topic that I love talking about creating blogs that actually mean something and that attract a big audience. It is my life's work. I've been working on this for the past 3 years, and I hope that some of you will be interested in joining us in the course. So this is available now, and I know Wayne had a couple of things that he wanted to mention in terms of special bonuses. So Wayne's going to mention those. I also wanted to mention that if you join through this link that you see on your screen, startablogthatmatters.com/Wayne, then you'll also get access to an exclusive kickoff session recording that we did. It's over 2 hours of hand-holding, essentially, showing you exactly how to get the most from this course. In addition, there is about an hour of Q&A where we answered all kinds of questions about how to use the course most effectively. So this is available now. You can go to startablogthatmatters.com/Wayne, and Wayne's going to tell you about some other special bonuses as well. And Wayne, you can also maybe let people know if there's a time limit. Do they have to get in within the next 24 hours or something in order to get your special bonuses?
Absolutely, Corbett. Thanks a lot. Folks, I don't know what you think. Would your family be impressed with the kind of results Corbett is talking about? So let me, I want to help you out a bit. Blogging is a very good way to move your business ahead. And as Corbett mentioned over and over again, one of the essential things is having visitors show up. And he talked about a number of different ways that happens. And so Corbett is offering to hand carry you through the process of creating a blog that matters. And without the expert help of someone of his caliber, literally 99% will fail. There's really no disputing this. And I know I learned everything the hard way, and I don't have a blog per se because I haven't focused on blogging necessarily. I focused on teaching and consulting on traffic, although I do have a blog, but it doesn't nearly project the messages the way Corbett does. So Corbett alone is offering you an amazing opportunity to rapidly build the future of your dreams with absolutely no risk. He's literally taking all the risk himself, so how could it really get any better? Well, maybe you don't know that I'm known as the Traffic Commander. It's a name marketing genius Evan Pagan tagged me with. You see, I personally teach his absolute top students in the Guru Masterclass everything they need to know to build a site and instantly get traffic. I also sell this same training independently for $197. But if you act fast and get in on Corbett's amazing offer right now, right here and right now, I will give you the layer traffic training for free. That's a $197 course, and I'll give you that for free. Remember, this is the exact same training given to the marketing genius Evan Pagan's top dollar students, and it's yours free if you sign up for Corbett right now. And get this, it includes, this is no exaggeration, a method you can put to use on any website at all today, one that you even have, and have 2,000 visitors by tomorrow. That's usually a pie in the sky claim that a lot of folks give you with a whole bunch of if you do this, if you do that, but I can guarantee you in about 15 minutes you follow these steps, you can have 2,000 visitors tomorrow on any website you want, and that's included in the layer traffic. So anyone with a website can do this, and it's part of the 25 hours of training you get in the layer traffic training course. So on top of the hours of training you get with Corbett, just laying out a blog and putting together a strategy, a winning strategy that if you're going to make blogging a core of your business that you need to have, you also are going to get 25 hours of training in a layer traffic course that includes everything about getting traffic that you can imagine, plus a way to get 2,000 visitors tomorrow if that's what you want to do. So if you sign up for that now, right now, and claim through the link that's right there on your screen, startablogthatmatters.com/Wayne, you'll be able to claim this bonus along with it, because I really like to make sure that everybody has every tool available to them imaginable to succeed. I don't see any point of buying coaching if it doesn't have everything you could possibly get your hands on to have the best chances of succeeding. And that's why I toss in the layer traffic, because this not only does it teach you traffic, it teaches you how to a complete series on how to use your cPanel. If you're doing your blog yourself, how you interact with that, how to actually construct a blog that's friendly for the search engines. It shows you exactly how to put it together and understand the ways, understand some of the offsite things that we're talking about, put together strategies that work in methods that you may not have ever heard. And actually, I know you probably haven't heard. Only a lot of people just keep these things to themselves because they don't want you to know about it. But it's all in the layer traffic, and they can all be applied to building a blog as the core of your business. And Corbett is the man to do that, to show you how to make it. I mean, he has you saw 5 examples right here, but he has countless examples of making that a success for those that really want to do it. Corbett's course is amazing, and Corbett is amazing. It's amazing that he was able to produce such success with blogging as quickly as he did. And as he mentioned, he talked about a few case studies where folks were struggling along for 3 years and then put his method to work. And no kidding, within months they truly, and no exaggeration, you can go to these websites and see for yourself that they truly had a blog that matters. So imagine how, when you complete Corbett's Start a Blog That Matters and apply the layer traffic system, that $197 product you get for free, imagine how you will feel as your blog has created exactly the statement you wanted and has tons of endless visitors who just love your message, and because you connect with them so well, they buy from you as well. I mean, what the bottom line for any business is, if they aren't buying from you in the end, have you really created something that matters? You're not in business until you're making money. So you don't make money instantly, and nobody's promising you that. We're promising you a strategy that gets you to the point where you're truly making money, and we're kind of doubling this up, putting the master blog strategy together with the master traffic strategies, and you combine those, and you have power that most people never imagined happen. Can you visualize yourself doing this? This is not something that most people have and have the opportunity to get, and so this is a rare chance for you. I'm going to leave this open. I'm going to leave this open for 48 hours, okay? And I'm going to have a replay come up so that you have the opportunity to get in. And I'm going to Corbett, if I could get you to release your desktop right now, I need to show them where to go to claim the bonus if they purchase through this link, how they get that bonus. And I need to get back on the screen.
Sure. Sure, there you go.
All right. let me get to the right slide. Just 1 second.
Go ahead, Wayne. It should be open now.
Yeah, I got it. And so here is the of course, the link you go to get Corbett's course. And of course, this is absolutely no risk. It's a 60-day money-back guarantee. So there's no risk to you. In 60 days, you know whether you're doing it or you're not doing it. That's no kidding. There's no way you can't know. And literally, Corbett's taking all the risk on himself. And then, if you purchase through this link, and then you go to the link you see below it, you send your receipt to it, to me, so that I need your ClickBank receipt so I can validate it. I'll manually set you up with the layer traffic course as your bonus, and that way you have really a powerful combination for building a blogging centerpiece and knowing you can get the traffic coming into you quite literally endlessly. I've shown some people some examples of what I did. I had to build my business from nothing. I had no money, no nothing, not even a home. So I had to learn these methods on my own. But I took a site from nothing to 100,000 visitors a month using these methods, and they work for any kind of website, but they work especially well for WordPress-based blog websites, because that's how I learned to do it, was on WordPress-based systems. So this is really a great opportunity, and I hope you can see now, once you complete your purchase with getting in on Corbett's expert training, probably some of them, not probably, it's the best training at that price that you can get anywhere. I've never seen it. When I came across it, I immediately wrote Corbett an email. I said, Corbett, boy, can I match this up with your stuff or what? It didn't say exactly that, but it pretty much said that. And I was really impressed by what he put together. And since I knew so many of you were looking to put blogs together that really mattered and really became the core of your business, I really wanted to do something special for you to match this all together. Okay, so those of you that were in the Guru Masterclass, I know some of you are here. The layer traffic, if you're thinking you got the entire layer traffic in Guru Masterclass, you didn't. Layer traffic continues to grow, and there's much more in it than what was in the Guru Masterclass. You got 12.5 hours in the Guru Masterclass. There's actually close to 30 hours inside of layer traffic right now today, plus the $2,000 method. I mean, the 2,000 visitor tomorrow method. You did actually learn that in the Guru Masterclass if you were in it, but nonetheless, many of you have never seen this before, and I know this works. I do it all the time. All right, now, for those of you who happen to, for some reason, the Facebook side of it kind of glitched on us. Now, I'm going to unlock this bonus here, the attendance bonus. This program, Quantum Internet Traffic, is all about planning out your traffic strategies. So you'll really want to get this and download it. I'll tell you, you'll be able to do this in a second as soon as I unlock the right key here. One moment. Check the box there, I think. All right. All right, so if you look down in the right side of your screen, you'll see this little thing here. You should be able to click that now, and it will pop up a screen that looks like what you see on your screen. And you should be able to click the little green arrow chevron and download the complete Quantum Internet Traffic course just for being here. So that's a great planning course for putting together your personal traffic strategy. All right, so go ahead and do that. Let me know, has anybody clicked on that yet? Let me know in the chat bar that that's working. That should be working and opening up for you. I want to see some yeses or something, or, you know, anything. Blah, blah, blah. Anything you want to tell me. Has anybody tried it? There's lots of people there. It should be down on the lower right of your screen. There's a little thing that looks like this, like you see on your screen inside the circle here. A little, you know, it's not in the Facebook. In the Facebook, if you're still in Facebook and it's working for you, there's a link that's already available to you that says click here to download your attendance bonus, and it will download immediately. But if you're on the full conference room in your browser, you should see this little icon down next to your Talk Now button, and you should be able to click it and download that bonus right now. Corbett said it worked for him. So I know it. That means it's open. Anybody else tried that? Rick, you try it? Laura, Joan, Jim, David, Damien, Charlotte, any of you? All right. For all the troubles, here's what I'm going to do. For you folks that are on here right now, I'm going to get you this anyhow, one way or the other, because I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. But for all of you that are on here right now, let me see if I can, let me get you this link. I'm going to get you, remember I said you had to invite folks to the room to get the list building bonus? Well, I'm going to give you a list building bonus anyhow. Because this was supposed to work and it's giving us a hard time. So I'm going to put a little link in the chat bar. I know the chat bar is working. It's coming to you. Just give me a second. All right. Do you see that link in the chat bar? I want you to go there and fill that in, and I'm going to give you the list building bonus and the QIT bonus for putting up with this painful thing. But if you have to you have to fill in that form at that link in order to get this, okay? You fill in that form. I know you were on the webinar, so you'll get both the list building course and the quantum internet traffic. So that'll make up for me me having technical problems. Is that fair? Does that sound fair? All right, Julie was able to access the link. That's good. I'm going to put it in there one more time. It's in the chat bar. You should be able to just click on that and take you straight to the form. All right? Corbett, while they're doing that, do you have any final words for them?
No, if anybody has any specific questions or anything that I can answer, I'm happy to. I'm, as I mentioned before, I'm super open, transparent. So any sort of question goes for me. If you have questions about your own blog or your own ideas, I'm happy to answer those. If you had questions about my business or my blogs or any of the examples I presented, I'm happy to answer those as well. So feel free. You can just type in the chat box there, and I'm happy to go over those. And also, of course, again, just thanks everybody for being on. I know that there are a lot of things going on these days, and we appreciate you being here instead of whatever else you could be doing.
Damien, you say you have a question. What's your question, Damien? I see that you want to ask a question. If the chat bar is not working for folks, the link that I put in there is CSEE this THIS fast FAST.com /FB bonus. Okay, seethisfast.com /FB as in boy bonus. seethisfast.com FB bonus. All right, if there's no questions, did everybody hear? Is the chat bar working? Looks like people are leaving and they got their bonuses, I hope. So Corbett, I guess that's a wrap. And I hope that you folks that are looking to be serious about blogging take a serious look. We have 48 hours to claim this and get the full bonuses and put it together. Corbett, thanks again. This was really a treat, and I'm going to get this out to as many people as possible that couldn't make it tonight. There were lots of people who signed up, so we're going to make sure lots of people have access to this.
Sounds good, Wayne. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm happy to do this, and if anybody has any questions, you can always reach me very easily over email. Just write support@thinktraffic.net, and happy to answer any follow-up questions you have.
All right, that's it. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time. Look for more webinars in the future.